war. But he reminded the church in Ephesus. In the church of Ephesus, Lord Jesus, idolatry. They had in their worship statues full of breasts. The goddess Diana, the fertility goddess, they were full of perversion. And that's why when Paul showed up at Ephesus, they burned the books and they said it equivalent to how much? $1,000. He burned the books. Yes. And the familiar spirit were walking about and saying, these are men of God. These are men of God. And Paul said, silence. And the sorcerers and those men doing their black magic, their business collapse. Robosata. If some brave people get up, some business of darkness will collapse on this side, and you will realize people being free to serve God. It's a spirit blinding the eyes of the people and deafening their ears from your phone calls and your house visits, from answering God and coming to fellowship in the house of God. It's a warfare. Amen. Mighty God. But Paul says, finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord, in Ephesians 6:10 and 18. Finally, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. Put on the whole armor of God, that he may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and powers, against rulers of darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Wherefore take unto you the whole armor of God, that we may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all, stand. Stand therefore, having your loins girt about with truth, and having on the breastplate of righteousness, and your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace. Above all, taking the shield of faith, wherewith we shall be able to quench the fiery darts of the wicked, and take the helmet of salvation, and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God, praying what? Always with all prayers and supplication in the Spirit, and watching thereunto with all perseverance and supplication for the saints. We came in to the Bible study, or the Sunday school. Jesus did not call all the names of the Christians in John 17. It couldn't hold. And I've never heard a Bible teacher tell you, don't be afraid to just say, Lord, remember the saints or the believers, without feeling guilty that he will not know who are the believers and the saints. Because Jesus did not list the name of all the people who would follow him. Think about that. So sometimes when you can't pray long, say, God, remember all the brethren, call the church name. Remember all the brethren of that church. Remember all the pastors. Remember our associates, the people who fellowship with us. He knows, he's all-knowing. So don't be afraid. If you can't do the long prayer, give him the summary. He understands as well. Amen. Oh, glory. He says, 200 pastors were asked this question. Why have our people stopped praying? They said, busyness. Why do we need to change? What do we need to change in our church in order to give more time to prayer? Is my question. Because the results said, the pastor said the people were too busy. Now we pray for the job, and we fast and pray and ask God to bless them with the house, the car, and the work. And you want to tell me the very thing we pray to God for our brethren, they get it and you don't see them no more. Amen. My God, my God. Yes. They were living and sharing facilities. Yes. And they cried to God, God, the house situation is so bad. Bless me with our house and my prayer life will be different and I'll get to church more. But right now I don't like how I'm feeling and I don't feel free to flow in the Spirit. God bless you with the house. But the house comes with a 52-inch TV. And you just flip king station after station. You don't even go on TBN or the ABN or the others. You're watching nothing. Yes. The remote is now controlling you. Yes, yes, my God. Apathy. People have little desire to spend time with the Lord. So too with their spouse. So if you're busy or you have no relationship with God, chances are your marriage is drying up little by little. Because chances are it is not your marriage that you're spending the time with either. He said, husband, love your wives as Christ loved the church and gave himself for it. And say, wives, submit yourselves to your husband as unto God. So they both focus on God. It's a love triangle. If you are not hungry for God, then we are filled with ourselves or something else. If we are not hungry for God, we are filled with ourselves or something else. People don't pray because they are self-sufficient. I tell them all the while, you don't need a money miracle if your bank book has the 6 digits. You don't need a money miracle because you don't have a demand for more than what is in there. Those who have little need a financial miracle. If you are not sick, you don't really need to pray for yourself, nor for people, because the blood test says everything is normal. Chemistry panel, normal. Oh my God, blood count, normal. Creatinine levels, normal. Name it, normal. You don't need to pray for a healing miracle of the blood, because it's normal. So you don't even get the compassion to pray for other people. So, people believe they can run things by themselves. But mode of operation must change in our church. We must get desperate for God. Yes. Because he said some of us are rich, but we are poor. As he visited the church in Revelation. If there's no prayer leadership, lack of prayer leadership to guide the vision of prayer within our church is needed. Yes. So we hear that the pastor and his wife come to prayer. A lot of churches, they leave it to a prayer group. And so the prayer group don't have the vision of the pastor, and the pastor don't have the vision of the prayer group. So the prayer leader sometimes acts as if he or she is the pastor over the pastor. Yes. Some persons separate church work and titles. But the higher you go, that's when you should be praying.